haven't called this race yet, but it's certainly looking like it's Obama's night. What do you see as the big lessons of tonight?
Well, look, I think that one of the lessons is, and this is true of as long as Ohio holds, and it's been called by just about everybody, and if that should put the president over the top. But I think one of the lessons is that the demographics of the country have changed, as you were just discussing. The Democrats have captured that better than Republicans have. That's one lesson. Second lesson is I think the Obama coalition was more durable than perhaps some of us thought. The combination of advantages among women, advantages among Hispanics, advantages among African Americans, and advantages among young voters were enough. That's another lesson. And I guess the third lesson is that this Obama turnout machine really did work. I think in a year in which enthusiasm was down for Democrats, I think there was some question about that. Well, now it looks as if the low enthusiasm wasn't enough to keep Obama voters from turning out.
And will, you've gone from sort of the grand message to the tactical message. I mean, are Republicans going to see a grand lesson out of this, or are they going to say, oh, it was so close, we could have won if we'd just done this, if we'd put a little bit more in the ground game in Ohio, if we hadn't made that comment about the 47%, one thing here or there, and the result could have been different?
Well, I think a lot of people are going to say, well, what about that hurricane? If not for that hurricane,
right,
could Mitt Romney have gotten a little more momentum? I think all those things are true and legitimate, but I think the recriminations, if Mitt Romney really has lost here, are going to be sort of broader than that. They're going to be moderates saying, well, we should have done a big budget deal with Barack Obama. We hurt the party's brand name by not doing that. Tea Party people are going to say, why didn't you nominate more of a real conservative, show a bigger contrast with President Obama than Mitt Romney could show? There are going to be a lot of second guesses like that, and particularly on the back of a not very good night for Republicans in Senate races as well.
Yeah, and so if you look at the road ahead and the need to cut some sort of a deal to get beyond the fiscal cliff, does this help get you to that solution, or does it make it harder?
Well, I think it makes it harder in the sense that if Mitt Romney had won tonight, I think there would be an inclination to kick the whole thing down the road 6 months. Let a new president come in, let him get his feet on the ground, let him get his team established. Let's just all agree that we're going to wait 6 months, come up with a temporary solution, and then try to tackle the real problems. I don't think you get that hall pass with a re-elected President Obama. And I also think there's going to be more of an inclination by Democrats, including some in the White House, to say, okay, let's just go off the fiscal cliff. Let's raise all the tax rates. Let's let the automatic spending cuts go into effect. Then let's see next year how we deal with that. And everybody can negotiate a new tax system under the gun, essentially. So I think the problem gets kind of more acute and more immediate if it's a re-elected Barack Obama.
You've already hinted at this, but one of the questions that's going to come up in the wake of this is Paul Ryan. Good idea, bad idea. Did it help? Did it hurt? What's the evidence on that?
I think in net it helped. I mean, there's no evidence that the Ryan budget or its Medicare premium support idea hurt Mitt Romney among senior citizens. That vote stayed strong for Mitt Romney all the way through. He doesn't seem to have turned Wisconsin, but I don't think anybody expected that. They would have liked it, but I don't think they expected that. And he was a relatively popular vice presidential choice. Scores well in national polls, scores extremely well among conservatives. He excited the base. I don't think there's any evidence that the Paul Ryan pick was a bad idea.
Yeah. And what for you is the biggest surprise of the evening so far?
Well, I think the biggest surprise is that Florida remains as close as it is. That's one that on my map I had always given to Mitt Romney. I figured that one was going to be gone. The Romney We Can Win coalition always started with Florida. I'm surprised it's been as tight as it has been. I don't think we know yet who's won Florida. I thought that would be one that we would write off early in the evening to Mitt Romney. Not the case.
Yeah. Okay, Jerry, thank you very much for being with us through this.